Hello everyone, this is Karem bringing you another replay review from Goat Format War League week number 1, season 6. And today we have a continuation game, game number 4, between Team Unknown and Bug Catchers. We got Card Goodman, aka the Professor, aka JamesArc in the top right, representing the Unknown side. We got Bechi, the Sack Lord, playing out for Bug Catchers. Right now, Bug Catchers are coming off a loss. Morpster got taken down by Marcus LOL, and they're looking for some revenge, tie up this series and push it to a Game 5 situation. And it looks like JamesArc is going to win the RPS here, and he's going to go first. Let's take a look at these duelist hands real quick. So we have Jar, BLS, Sork, Tribe, Torrential, and Night Ass. Probably going to be setting this Jar of Greed and then setting this Night Ass and passing. Bechi is going to have Graceful, Night Ass, Trap Dust Shoot, Upstart, and Tribe. And draw into the 6th Man of the Year Pot of Greed. Go ahead and fire off this Upstart, hope to hit a T-Drag, and then fire off this Pot subsequently after the Upstart here. Find ourselves into that T-Drag we were mentioning, and of course a Spy here, so this Graceful is about to go crazy. Discard the T-Drag, of course, and we're going to want to put that Dark in the grave, and hope to see if we can get into a knock off this Graceful, deal with this card. So we're going to discard definitely Spy and Night Assailant here, put the Dark in grave, get the recurrence, maintain card advantage and hand size, and we will find that Nobleman here. So we're going to clear out this this set card as well, on top of just the absolute sack fest that's going on, and we will set, shoot, activate Nobleman. Pretty interesting sequencing there, and then we will probably just set the Spy with nothing else behind it. There's not really a need to wall up the Spy in the back row. Firing off the shoot, and we're going to take a look into JamesArc's hand. We'll have Break, Tribe, BLS, Sork, and Torrential here on this shoot. Sending back the Tribe, definitely correct. You know, you want this Spy to resolve and then maintain so that you have something on board for next turn. Your opponent does have a Jar of Greed here, so they're probably going to fire this off unless they're, if they're comfortable holding this Jar for a later date. But that Jar of Greed is going to come in, find us an Upstart, and find us into a duo. Given that Graceful's already been fired off, and that the possibility that this could be a Magician of Faith next turn, you're just probably going to fire off this duo and hope to hit something besides the Thunder Dragon. Going to get that fired in. Unfortunately for JamesArc, he will hit the T-Drag, and then Bechi will find himself into a main deck Minecon. Bechi does love his pre, and it looks like JamesArc set that Torrential there to deal with whatever is here. Probably in his mind, presumably a Spy, and that is exactly what's going to happen there, as TT is going to fly in, and we'll get a normal summon Tribe, special summon Chaos Sorcerer in for 39. And given that we know what's in JamesArc's hand here, it's not looking pretty good for him if we are Bechi, so we're just able to commit this large presence to the board. Now, James will find himself into a Dekoichi here, which gives him a little bit of assurance to maybe see into another couple of cards from his deck. He does have the Break here, which is going to be, unfortunately, he's going to have to fire it off for BLS or Sork, but it is what it is. And unlucky turn of events here for JamesArc, his Minecon is going to be played out and played for the Dekoichi here. Get into an Upstart here, but there's not really a need to do it. You have Ring set, you know that this is some type of interruption, and you can just attack with Spy for game and chain Ring if he has something. No Upstart needed here, and that'll probably do it. That's going to be what, 39, 51, and he's at 41, so there's just no way out of this with the Ring being down already. That's exactly what we're going to get. And that'll be game number 2. A little unfortunate side for JamesArc. Let's see if he can bounce back here in game number 2. And it looks like he does a little bit here, so he's going to open up Dekoichi for the 6th man. Thunder Dragon, Solemn, Snatch, Shoot, and Pot. This is something I noticed in a couple of Unknown's games, is the main deck Solemn. Kind of more of the Soul Eyeless type variant for Chaos Turbo. whereas Bechi, it seems, is more on a mythical style list. And we're going to get this Thunder Dragon fired off, and we will fire off this Pot of Greed this turn as well. Get into an upstart and a duo. It's duo party. In World here, I just fire off this duo before firing this upstart just because sequencing, but that's perfectly fine. The duo is probably at the best point activating here anyways, and that's just a very minute thing. We're going to get hit here, and we're going to probably do the spy to play around the shoot, and we will get a triple set on James' side here. Pretty interesting. We'll have shoot, judgment, and Dekoichi there. Pretty interesting to set the judgment right out the gate, especially with nothing really to protect. Fire off the Faith though. Back to deck, we'll see that he does have Pot of Greed, and with Snatch and Ring only in his hand here, and Solemn on the board, JamesArc's going to go ahead and negate that. Pretty good way to maintain the the positioning that you're in for JamesArc. Not something that you see too often, I think, in the Turbo matchup, unless you are given this type of advantage. It's something that you usually see in like a Warrior matchup. But JamesArc will draw into the Gan Man here, and he'll probably flip up this Deco. He's actually going to like hold it, I guess, for the second Deco. I don't hate it here. I mean, you're not in really any hurry to resolve or activate these cards. And so now you're going to know all three cards in Bechi's hand: T-Drag, Snatch. And now you're going to have a Flip Fest here with the Dekoichi for the Dekoichi, and draw double side, and you will find yourself into a Nobleman. And you're just going to push in for 28. On Bechi, I'm just waiting for something like Mirror Force or Torrential to help you deal with this situation. And James is going to go ahead and set the Sangan in case that Torrential becomes a thing. And we'll get a break set as well because we have double T-Drag. And it looks like we did find ourselves into the Mirror Force here, so now we can deal with these double Dekoichis and kind of bluff it off as being maybe a Torrential here. So he's not going to probably summon out this Suki here, and so we'll fire this Upstart off into a second Nobleman, and we're probably just going to poke with the Dekoichis here. There's not really a reason to go into the Tsukiyomi this early, especially with the Snatch still. You don't want to lose it. So we'll just try and do some more damage here. 28 apiece. Mirror Force will be found, and that's kind of a win for JamesArc here, getting rid of that card at this point. And now we have the Sangan sacked for the Thunder Dragon, and probably given the advantage that you have, you're probably gonna want to like nail the game sealed here with Pot of Greed. So you're gonna grab the Faith, especially with the Suki. Definitely makes sense. Opponent's going to draw into a Suki here. So he has Suki Ring. He's just going to like to pass and hold it and hope that this Snatch steal can benefit him. We're going to get a set Spy on JamesArc's side in trying to, I guess, pull out that Nobleman, given the information given that you added the Faith to hand. Which you will hit the field for Bechi. And here goes a BLS. So you got to be careful with that since you're at 3,500. It's gotta be pretty much game shot here, and we'll see probably one of those Noblemans come in and fly out and clear out this Dekoichi, and we will get a break to clear out the ring, and now we will push for game, I presume. And there it is, and that will be 3,000, 4,000, 73. So 100 life points to spare. And we are in the illustrious game number 3. Team Unknown taking on Bug Catchers. Sorry about that, I had to take a break. We're back in the illustrious game number 3 between Team Unknown and Bug Catchers here. Bechi's going to be on serve. He'll open up a Pot of Greed into a Upstart Tribe, Kaiku, Koichi, Minecon, Suki, Bechi break. And we're going to fire off this Upstart for sure. And now we could feel a little ballsy here and just set out the Faith. The safe play would probably just set the Dekoichi, considering that both duelists you have seen, Minecons, especially in this point in Game 3, you're expecting them to be brought in droves. So you could play it safe, set the Deco here, or go full balls to the wall. I don't know necessarily what the right play is. I know I would personally just set the Dekoichi, and that is what Bechi is going to elect to do as well. Geki Break's going to get down, and James is on serve here with Gravekeeper Spy, Mind Con, Mirror Force, Dekoichi, another Spy, and a Break. So in a world here, you kind of are forced to use this Mind Con since you didn't draw into the Nobleman. You don't want him to recur the Pot of Greed. Maybe Bechi's feeling a little ballsy. So you're going to have to fire that off. At worst case, it's a Dekoichi there, and you're going to find yourself into Sinister Serpent off of it. Setting the Spy here just to kind of mitigate some type of defense. And you will throw the Mirror Force behind it here, which is a bit interesting considering that you do have the Break and the Serpent. Maybe you know, again, I'm not really sure the line there, but I would have probably set the Break rather than the Mirror Force, especially behind the Spy. But we'll see how it plays out here. We're going to get a T-Drag off of the start for Bechi, and we're probably going to fire off this Mind Con and figure out what is set. And it looks like we are after we summon the coup, and Spy is going to come out, get us a Spy, and it looks like we're going to try and do some damage here. This Mirror Force might pay dividends here for JamesArc though. So what do I know what I'm talking about? It looks like the Mirror Force is the correct play. It's going to clear out this coup, Dekoichi, Ed Spy. Good read from James the Arc. And we're going to set the second Spy here, so we're still walled up. And Bechi here is probably going to elect to get rid of this. Some way, nothing really in the graveyard that's threatening. But if he does recur that Mind Con, it makes it harder to play this Faith later on. So probably just going to go ahead and deal with this now. And we're going to get the Suki to summon the Spy, and we're going to get a set poke into it, and we will be dealing 900 to Bechi's side, and we will get a reset. So double Spy on the field for each duelist here. I like to hold this break. Each duelist has a break set, and we're going to follow that up with a set Deco. And top deck into the Nobleman here and probably take Dekoichi out of the game. Looks like 3 Dekoichis in JamesArc's deck list there. And it looks like 2 in Bechi's. Suki's going to come out, reset the Spy, and pass back. Pretty good discard hand here. We got Night Assailant, Nail Assailant, Breaker, and Sinister Serpent. In a world here, you could just go out and try and pop this. But you know you're not getting over these Spies, so there's not really any reason to make that push there. We're just going to set the Serpent and hope for the best. Maybe Bechi plays double Mind Con. He still does have 1 Nobleman left in the deck. Set the Serpent. I think he's trying to bait out this card. And the same can be said for JamesArc. And we're going to get a couple of things from JamesArc here. And just select to set the Night Assailant. Better to deal with the Sangan than losing out on the break here. Definitely correct. And we're going to find ourselves into a duo, which we're going to attack the Spy into the newly set, and that's going to find the Night Assailant that's going to trigger the Sangan. So it's going to be a huge position swing for Bechi here. And we're going to definitely probably fire off this duo and hit the second Night Assailant, unfortunately, with the Swork, but I guess it didn't matter. Night Assailant's going to recur Night Assailant, and we're going to set the Suki, set the Spy, and bring back the Suki to hand after discarding Serpent. 3 cards in the deck, 3 cards in the hand for James, and we're going to find Thunder Dragon off of that upstart. We'll sack it, the Serpent, and we'll add back our Serpent. And we're finally going to get that break to fire off with the Serpent and pop the break and pop the Spy. Serpent's going to get added back. Night Assailant's going to get added back. And now we have no back row to deal with. Tribe is going to come in and clear house. And we're going to have the Spy flip up for another Spy. And we're going to deal with this T-Drag that's going to get cleared out by Tribe and deal 24. Pretty good push and momentum swing from Bechi. We'll set this shoot to close it out here. Gonna go ahead and elect to pro set the Storm. and we will fire off after this serpent gets resolved. And probably choosing the breaker here. Don't really want to lose this storm we just set. Don't want to have the tribe get crashed in. You could choose Night Assailant because you don't really have a way to deal with it, but I don't really think you're much worried about that. So Breaker's going to go back to the deck. Pretty good choice from Bechi there. And we'll get that Night Assailant set down. And now we have Sword coming in. I'm going to add back the Serpent for sure here. And now see how it goes. Kind of just have to swing. I wouldn't commit anything that's in my hand to the board. Just deal with this the way it is. And it looks like we're going to set Suki and just try and do max damage. Kind of force him here to pick between Tribe and Suki. Guess I don't hate it. We're going to choose Suki. And we're going to do for 4,000 here. I mean, 2,400. That Tribe is going to get eaten up by the Night Assailant's destruction. Duo here, though. Kind of a terrible spot to see Duo. Probably just have to bait it in some way, given that you know that he has T-Drag and Serpent. That's exactly what's going to happen. It's going to get cleared out by the Pro Heavy Storm, and we're going to go ahead and push for game. Alright, Bechi, Bug Catchers, going to tie up this series and push a Game 5. JamesArc didn't have enough to come back and solidify it for his team there this week. And now it all falls on the shoulders of Mercenary and Rev. Who will win week 1? Will it be Team Unknown or will it be Team Bug Catchers? Stay tuned and check out the next video uploaded here on Atlanta Goat Format.